What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 15 brawlers to max out right now, whether you're playing ladder or ranked. More so ranked, these going to be your best brawlers at the height of the pro meta, so do bear this in mind. Your meta may differ depending on what rank you are, and if you're lower rank like mythic, brawlers like M's might be a bit better if you're lower in trophies, etc. But this is for the pro level sort of thing. So let's jump into it. Starting off with probably the best brawler in the game, Cordelius. Everyone should know that Cordelius is an insane brawler in the meta right now, and that is thanks to a few combinations. So her geisha form, her fan form allows her to get into position really easily, allows her to juke out a lot of like shots against throwers, snipers, etc. So she can get into position easily, and then she can just switch into ninja form, burst people down pretty quickly, and then she's got two really good supers on top of that. It's just really hard to actually stop a Cordelius right now in the meta. There's only really a handful of counters, and even so, say if you wanted to counter Cordelius in her geisha form, you normally want to run like a tank or something quite close and personal. Well, she can just switch over to a ninja form, feed super from those tanks, and then just obliterate them with her hypercharged form. So there's just so much to like about Cordelius. So versatile. I know she's ultra legendary, so not everybody will be able to get her, but she's just absolutely insane once you learn her mechanics. The next brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be Cordelius. So I was right with the Cordelius. It was a bold prediction because not a lot of people, I was really sensing that Cordelius was going to be like such a strong brawler. I predicted top 5, and I still think he's a top 5 brawler in the game right now. So Cordelius is just so good at shutting down so many aggressive ideas. I knew it because the damage buff was insane, but it's mainly because Cordelius used to be a really meta brawler when hypercharges first came out, because he'd be one of the only ones to be able to shut down such a good hypercharge. You can just put whoever you want into the shadow realm, and that's their hypercharge wasted. So for that reason alone, he's such a good defensive brawler, whether it be in Brawl, whether it just be to shut down a specific idea in gem grab or something like that, heist. If you're looking to counter the likes of Chuck or any aggro brawler, Cordelius is your guy. There's nothing any type of assassin can do into Cordelius with super, really. So that is why he's just absolutely insane. You can switch between both gadgets as well, depending on whether you're facing tanks. You probably want to use the mute gadget, and throwers, snipers, you want to use jump. It's just so good in this meta. It deletes everything. Next brawler must max out for this season. It has to be Kit. If you've been watching my streams, you just know how good Kit is in the meta right now, whether you're first pick, late pick. I will say with Kit, at least you can counter. If you're looking for counters for Kit, it's always Charlie, Cordelius. RT is pretty good as well. There's a few handful of ones as well, but it's not a lot of brawlers that actually can stop Kit once you get the hypercharge. The hypercharge is absolutely insane. Kit already was starting to fall down the meta a little bit, but before the like 2 months plus ago, Kit was always still like a viable option in like gem grab if using a specific combination. Bounty and knockout Kit's always been good with tanks, with Miko, with Janet, with Daryl, etc. There's so many combinations you can go with a Kit, and then add a broken hypercharge. I haven't even spoke about the hypercharge. Literally, that is the reason why Kit is so broken. It's because the hypercharge only takes, I believe, 8 swipes to get, which is absolutely insane, and you just stun onto any single brawler, and pretty much you should be able to kill them when you jump on top of them. And then his support hypercharge is just absolutely broken. The amount of healing that it provides, and then the range is just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, Kit is broken. Easily one of the best brawlers. But next brawler must max out for this season. It has to be Draco. So he's fallen down the meta just a little bit, just because it takes a little bit longer to get his hypercharge. But that's still not stopping his hypercharge just being absolutely done broken. They even nerfed the damage with the hypercharge, and it still isn't enough in my opinion, because you can just wreck everybody in the meta. Especially in hot zone, it's going to be your best chance of getting a good Draco matchup. He's a good counter to a lot of other tanks in the meta, like Hank, for example. You could just feed unlimited supers. It's unlimited pressure, and he still has one of the most busted gadgets inside of the game. If you learn how to perfectly time this in combination with his heal star power, he's just inevitably just going to take up so much of the map. And then with his super as well, you get damage reduction with the super automatically, which is just another broken thing about him. Yeah, he's just still that guy. Next brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be Jae Young. So Jae Young is proven to be such a versatile option in this meta. So he's one of the brawlers that didn't get nerfed, surprisingly. He's not like toxic, but he's just so versatile and good into everything. It's like, what do you actually go to counter Jae Young? Well, we'll speak about a couple of them counters later on in the video, like Crow. and that's why Crow's become so good. But yeah, Jae-Young is just unstoppable right now. It's mainly because of his speed attack. Just being able to constantly get speeds, it just enables you to win gunfights a lot easier. You know, if you're just shooting the opponent and then you can just run backwards because you get that speed boost, it's just really hard to kill. And then if you get close to Jae-Young, as a support brawler that can just pop a gadget and just burst you down with 3 quick attacks and just deal, like, I think nearly 8k damage, I think maybe even more with damage gear popped, it's like, how do you even touch this brawler? He's got speed, he's got healing, he's got damage if needed, he's got everything, and he hasn't even got a hypercharge yet. So yeah, Jae-Young is easily one of the best brawlers. This brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be at Lumi, so I have noticed a drop off in Lumi just a little bit, but that is from like being a top 3 brawler in the game, still probably being an S-tier brawler in the game, just the pick rate's a little bit lower, but still, Lumi is absolutely dumb, insane. She's just so good. It's just still the fact that her gadget is just so broken. Every single time I mention Lumi, it's just hilarious that as a gadget, she has 2 mini lose supers. It just gives you ultimate control, and control just wins the games most of the time, whether it be Brawl Ball, you're pushing them back into spawn, you can get control of the map, you force them back into their goal, you get an easy goal. In hot zone, you know, it's going to delay them from getting onto the hot zone. In knockout, it pushes them into the storm. You get the idea. This gadget is just so broken, and just her main attack as well. It just flies out too quickly. If an assassin or a tank wants to try and get close to you, well, her star power stops that from happening. It slows them down, and the recall damage is absolutely insane. So Lumi is just so broken still in the meta. Next brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be a Lily, and still a brawler that just doesn't get spoken about enough for whatever reason, because this brawler, I swear, in gem grab, you can just first pick it. As an assassin, by the way, you can just first pick it into everything. Like the opponent could pick like a chest or an arty, or just something really dumb to just counter this brawler, and it would still just get such insane value, insane pressure on the map. The Vanish gadget, if you use it correctly, as your first play with Vanish gadget, you want to make sure that you're popping it just before you're in the enemy's line of sight, and just go in there, try and get your first super, and then just start a cycle. Just keep supering it in. As long as you're connecting and landing those supers, you're going to be earning your hypercharge, and the hypercharge is the most broken thing about Lily by far. It wins pretty much every single 1 versus 1 interaction, which just allows for Lily to take over, turn the game in its tide. You know, like I said, best brawler in gem grab pretty much, just good everywhere outside of knockout. And you can still use her in knockout bounty as long as there's a little bit of a grasp, because what you want to be doing is making the opponent scared, because as long as there's like a couple of blades of grass close to each other, Lily might just appear out of that grass bush out of nowhere, because you can just pop your Vanish gadget and connect the bushes essentially. So yeah, Lily's just insane for pressure. Such a broken brawler right now. Brawling must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be Charlie. So a few people have figured out a few more counters to Charlie. Well, it's the same counters, but they've got a little bit better now. But Charlie is still one of the best brawlers inside of the game. Charlie's range is absolutely insane. It allows her to be so versatile. Her Spiders gadget allows her to counter those snipers, you know, the bees, the bells, etc. You can just spam the Spiders gadget, push them back. Her wall peeking is really, really good because of her range buff, and her super will always be one of the best counters to a lot of the aggressive ideas. So a range brawler that can counter other range brawlers and can't get countered by assassins, like what can you actually go to counter this brawler is insane. The Charlie range buff really is something to be scared about. The only counters to her are the likes of Amber and Sandy, and outside of that, what can you really go? Next brawler must be looking to max out this season. It has to be Gray. So we've been speaking about this ever since the gadget rework, essentially allowing him to get unlimited walking canes, allows him to get unlimited super recharge. He's able to fly around the map however he wants. So as the metas develop, he starts to go down just a little bit, but he's still so prevalent in the meta. It's crazy. Whether it's a mid-gem carrier, a little bit more advanced, but the pros do love him as a mid-gem carrier because you can easily set up a teleport into their enemy's base and just keep sending a Jackie, a Bull, whatever into their into their homeland, and then you can just easily pick up gems because of the pressure they're able to put out. You've got hot zone. You can easily link a couple of portals in a row, so from spawn you can get the respawn bubble onto the hot zone with a tank, and it's just so hard to stop. Knockout bounty is like the best first pick, because what do you actually go to counter Gray? You can't really go anything completely to counter him, because again, like, you can go like a sniper to try and outrange him, but then he'll feed his super from his unlimited gadgets from throwers and other brawlers, and then he can just teleport onto a sniper easily and kill them. So Great is just insane. It's really most absolutely maxed out for this season. It is a Bonnie. So Bonnie, you need to max her out because of her hypercharge. Without the hypercharge, yeah, she's an okay brawler since the rework, not anything crazy, but the hypercharge itself, it's just so hard to counter her. Literally, if you see a Bonnie in your game, you gotta group up. That's the only way you can do anything about it, because hypercharge 1 versus 1, it will kill every single brawler in the game pretty much. There's nothing stopping it. But stun is so toxic. So again, like what pros do to counter it, they group up, or they go like brawlers like Buster, or just like brawlers that can quickly burst down Bonnie when she jumps in. Grouping up is the best way, or else she's just gonna tear through her team. She's insane everywhere right now. As long as it's not a super bushy map, she's good in hot zone, one of the best brawlers in heist, really good at knockout and bounty. You can use her in other game modes as well, but just avoid the bushy maps. This brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be Gus. So we'll say that Gus is definitely overrated in ranked. Like, you can't just go Gus everywhere. I've already had this discussion where, you know, people in my ranked games, even at Masters 1, 2, will just go Gus no matter what. You can't just go Gus no matter what, especially in Brawl. You will get outrun. But, you know, he's still a really solid gem carrier. He's really good in knockout and bounty. Can be good in hot zone as well. You just got to be careful that you don't have multiple low DPS brawlers on your team. But outside of that, he is an insane brawler. He is, because he's so easy to hit your shot with. He has one of the easiest attacks to hit. He's got a good amount of health. His super is really good for just keeping him and his teammates alive and just getting pressure on the map. Cookie Popper is one of the best gadgets inside of the game. His hypercharge defends him against assassins. It's the same old with Gus, and he's still one of the best brawlers in the game. Next brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be Bull. So I was starting to think that Bull might start to slip down the meta. I kind of just want this because I wanted to be right about my prediction, but it seems like I'm still wrong. Bull is such a good brawler, but then it's kind of this catch-22 scenario where, like, Bull isn't actually being played too much, but then it's the situation, like, if you don't have an adequate counter in there, so if you don't have, like, a tank counter, and the opponent, well, yeah, the opponent goes Bull, it's just over, because in a 1 versus 1, there's nothing stopping Bull with his Stomper gadget. His stun is just so toxic. In a 1 versus 1, he would just shred you up close. There's nothing that you can do about it. So whether it's Brawl, hot zone, gem grab, he's just so insane in the pro meta. So just be aware whenever you're drafting, you've got to have something that can at least do something into a Bull, else he'll 1 versus 3. The next brawler must absolutely max out for this season. We have Crow. So the revival of Crow has kind of come out of nowhere in a sense. Like in the previous meta, that was when he got buffed, and he was just like a good brawler. He'll be picked like a gem grabber every now and then, but then ever since all of the top meta brawlers got nerfed, he's just got even better. And it's just because of his survivability. It's just absolutely insane. It's so toxic. He can actually farm supers so easily now because he's able to just sustain his life a lot more frequently, because with a shield gear, I think he gets 6.5k health, which is insane. And then you add on to that the shield gadget, so every time you jump on top of somebody, you're pretty much staying alive when you land. Normally with Crow, like, you jump in, you just doomed to die, like, because he was so squishy. Now you can probably get like an extra 1 or 2 pieces of ammo even, so it allows you to cycle through his super a lot more effectively. This allows him to actually be more of an assassin. Even though I don't really like this, because I've always thought of Crow as a squishy brawler, at least it's made him more viable in a non-toxic way. So maybe this is the way to go with Crow. He's just so hard to kill, and you add on his extra toxic star power on top of that, you get even more HP when you think about it. So yeah, Crow, he's insanely versatile. You see him everywhere. You even see him in bounty at the moment. He's one of the top picks in pro play. Jumping into the next brawler must absolutely max out for this season. It has to be Hank. So Hank received a health nerf, and everybody knew that this wasn't going to do anything to Hank. It might have pushed him down like a couple of spots in the overall ranking, but that's about it, because Hank is just such an insane brawler. When you think of his counters, like, there's only really a handful out there, like Dynamite, maybe a few throwers could be good into him. Outside of that, he's just insane. Once he starts his super cycling and you don't mess it up, there's hardly anything that can kill him. You add a really toxic shield gadget on top of that adds to his survivability. The amount of damage you can put out is hypercharged to give him the speed, and literally the best thing about him is healing with his super. So, like, you think you're about to kill a Hank, but no, he has a super that can just deal insane damage up close and across the map as well. What's there not to like about Hank? He's still insane. So moving on to the final brawler on this list, I went with Amber. So Amber still proves to be one of the best brawlers inside of their game. I tried to make a ranking without her, and I just can't, just because she's so versatile and so annoying. She's one of the brawlers I actually ban quite often when it comes down to hot zone or some Brawl maps, because she's just so toxic to deal with. That's why Crow's got a little better, because she's a because Crow's a good counter to Amber, but then Amber's also a good counter to Charlie. So all of these brawlers just met and kind of counter each other in a triangle here. But yeah, Amber's insane. Literally the biggest drawback to her is that she takes a long time to get the hypercharge, but if you're landing multiple supers in a row, you've got to get it quite quickly, and just the damage output she can put out is just so annoying. I just hate Amber. I don't know what it is about it. It's just so annoying to face off against. She's such a hard kill. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah, I think it's probably tomorrow or Sunday I'll be doing a tier list, so make sure you're watching for that. But yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.